Now, our lead story today comes on the milestone of one of the darkest days in the history of the United States, September 11th. It has been 24 years since terror attacks shocked and changed the U.S. forever. The first half of today's show takes us through the events that happened on September 11, 2001, leading to the phrase "never forget," which remains to this day a heartfelt plea for Americans, especially who lost loved ones and those who witnessed and survived the attack. Today, U.S. President Trump will honor those who died by attending a memorial at the Pentagon. Vice President J.D. Vance's second Lady Usha Vance will travel to Ground Zero, where the Twin Towers once stood for a memorial service this year in New York City. The names of all 2,977 victims are read aloud at the National September 11th Memorial and Museum. We will be showing some of the traumatic footage of what unfolded on this day 24 years ago, and it may not be appropriate for everyone. So please, especially if you're under the age of 13, ask an adult, a parent, a teacher, if this content is safe for you to watch. We'll be sharing the devastating updates that came to CNN's newsroom. You'll hear the anguish and the confusion as the coverage turns from what some believe was an accident into the reality, which was an unprecedented attack on our homeland. If it's not appropriate for you, you can fast forward to other stories of the day, sometimes just past the half point of the show. Nearly 3,000 people were killed in a series of coordinated attacks carried out by the AI kidnap terror group at the direction of their leader, Osama bin Laden. Terrorists deliberately crashed commercial airplanes into the Twin Towers in New York City, the Pentagon in Arlington, Virginia, and the field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. It remains the deadliest terror attack to ever occur on U.S. soil. This just in, you are looking obviously a very disturbing light shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have confirmed reports this morning that the plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center. The plane just was coming in low and the wingtips tilted back and forth, and then it flattened out. It looks like it hit at a slight angle into the World Trade Center. I say the whole takes about 6-7 floors were taken out, and there were explosions right now. Hold on, people are running. Hold on just a moment. We got an explosion inside the building. The building is exploding right now. You got people running up the street. Today, we have a national tragedy. 2 airlines had crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country. I have spoken to the Vice President, to the Governor of New York, to the Director of the FBI, and have ordered that the full resources of the federal government go to help the victims and their families, and to conduct a full-scale investigation to hunt down and to find those folks who committed this act. We have a report now that it was a plane that crashed in the Pentagon, and we have a large fire at the Pentagon. The Pentagon is being evacuated. We have a report now as a large plane crashed this morning north of the Somerset County Airport, which is in western Pennsylvania, not too terribly far from Pittsburgh. We don't know if this is somehow connected to what has gone on in New York and Washington, but we do know that another plane has crashed, this one about 80 miles south of Pittsburgh, or at least to the southeast of Pittsburgh. You can see perhaps the second tower, the front tower, the top portion of which is collapsing. Good Lord, there are no words. Our hearts go out to the families, to the individuals whose lives were changed forever by the tragedy that occurred on this day, September 11th, 24 years ago. Alright, now we will pivot to get you some of the other top news stories of the day. In Europe, there's an unprecedented situation playing out in Poland. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk says his country is now closer to conflict than any time since World War II, which ended September 2nd. 1945, its military shot down 19 Russian drones that violated the country's airspace. The incursion happened during a Russian attack on Poland's neighbor Ukraine. No injuries were reported, but several residential buildings suffered severe damage from the debris. And here's one reason why it's important. Poland is a member of NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. The alliance includes the US, Canada, and 30 European countries. An attack on any member is seen as an attack on all. Officials say this was the first time a Russian drone has ever been shot down in a NATO member territory. The incident sent ripples throughout the alliance. Such fighter jets were scrambled to Poland's defense. German missile systems were placed on high alert. Italy launched support aircraft as well. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte condemned the acts as reckless and issued a warning to Russian President Vladimir Putin. Listen, Putin, my message is clear. Stop the war in Ukraine. Stop the escalating war, which he's now basically mounting on the innocent civilians and civilian infrastructure. Stop violating allies' airspace and know that we stand ready and we are vigilant and that we will defend every inch of NATO territory. Poland also said it will now invoke Article 2 of NATO, a clause that allows member countries to call for urgent discussions with allies to determine next steps. Pop quiz hot shot. What gives coral its bright colors? Minerals in the water, symbolic algae, fish swimming nearby, or the coral's own pigments. If you say symbolic algae, you are curling it. The algae called Zooxanthellae, and provides corals with essential nutrients and energy through photosynthesis, while the hard coils offer the algae protection, carbon dioxide, and access to sunlight. Coral reefs play host roughly a quarter of the world's marine life. Did you know? And these crucial habitats are facing a critical threat of warming seas. Record ocean temperatures are making coral reefs vulnerable to a process called coral bleaching, which can stress and often kill corals. These mass bleaching events are becoming more frequent, and scientists are racing to find solutions. One team in California is using some innovative new techniques to rebuild the corals. Daniel and his team have a new tool. This liquid is special because when you shine light on it, it becomes jelly. Snapbacks, a scented gel that can be painted or sprayed into damaged reefs or even 3D printed attachments like this one in lab and field tests. Coral trees with snapbacks attract 20 times more larvae than untreated surfaces. It works immediately and lasts up to a month. Today's story in a 10 out of 10 series is seriously kind anonymous as putting the P and paying it forward. Nurses at Poly Hospital outside of Philadelphia were forced to learn someone had donated $1 million to help them pay down with student loan debt. Disbelief would be the word. I was instantly just in shock, and I said to our co-workers, "Hey, is this real?" And get this, it's not the only incognito cash infusion helping nurses in the area. It followed another $1 million donation at a nearby hospital earlier in the summer. Poly hospital staff say their anonymous benefactor reached out after reading about it. We have a donor that wants to donate $1 million for debt relief for nurses. My jaw dropped. The donor stated, "Why can't I do this for Poly Hospital? That's my hospital and I want to donate." The kind gesture has left the hardworking health workers speechless. How awesome is that? Rise up and remember, you don't have to give $1 million to make a difference. Sometimes a nice compliment can be a spark of joy that someone needs. You are more powerful than you know.